What's up, guys, and welcome back to this week's episode of the GG Gaming Podcast. I'm your host and player 1 for the day, Alpha Stoutland, and today I'm joined by my player 2 and co-host, Drew Maru.
Woo! What's up, guys?
Or Diamond Death,
or whatever you want to call me.
Yeah. And of course, we're joined again by our friend and our player 3, WreckitRyan.
Hey, I'm back.
And we have a very special guest this week. He's one of my close friends, in real life and online. So we've done a few collabs on the channel, of course. You guys know him as Sceptile, and I know him as Ethan. So Ethan, welcome as our player 4.
Player 4. I'm more of a player 3, but okay.
But anyway, so we've got all 4 people here. I got in touch with Brandon and have not heard from him today, so we'll just continue the podcast with him. And also wasn't aware Drew was able to use his phone for this, so he's joining today, so...
Yeah, it was kind of like a last-minute thing. I was eating dinner, and I was messaging in the Skype and thought to myself, hey, wait a sec, I can probably just use the Skype app and join in. Mm-hmm. So I'm letting Alpha take over as host today because I can't do any editing or anything, so Alpha's doing the recording on his part, and this will be Alpha's first time being the host of this show.
Exciting, yeah.
So he gets to lead all the topics.
Yep.
Yeah.
But first, as we always do, I have to ask what you guys have been up to. Drew, I'm sure you've had a very busy week, so tell us about your week.
Oh, God. Well, last Wednesday, so I had last Wednesday was when I had my flight back to New Jersey early in the morning, and when I got up around 6:45, the flight was at 9:25. So I got up that early, and then a friend of mine was going to drive me down to the airport. So not only was he late, but we got lost. So I winded up missing my flight by about 5 minutes. So I sat there all day for the next flight at night. So I sat there from 9:25 to like 6 p.m., which the flight was also kind of late. So since I had gotten like hardly any sleep, I was kind of like nodding on and off in the airport, just sitting there, like falling asleep, waking up, falling asleep, waking up. So that sucked. And I must have caught something at the airport, like a stomach virus, because it didn't hit me until yesterday. I was just like bedridden with a stomach virus. I couldn't keep anything down, and it was probably the only thing I can think of. It was probably from the airport because that's where you're in touch with everyone and everything, and like these sicknesses kind of hit you a few days later. Mm-hmm. So I figured that, but it seems to be only 24 hours. I seem to be better today, but it just really sucked because yesterday I met up with friends that I was going to see before I go, and they had to go home because I was sick, and it was just really really bad.
That's right.
Bad timing, man.
I had that back in October.
Wow.
Rough.
But yeah, that sucked. But
something like that hit me in January, and it was bad. It wasn't a day; it was quite a few days. So I sort of know what you went through, but it's kind of not. So yours might have been way more severe than mine. So
yeah, it just makes me not want to go to the airport again. But
yeah,
I have
it's
to
kind
go
of like
to
the hospital.
airport.
Like you said, everybody's there, and you can get anything from anywhere.
Yeah, and I was there all day, so people, maybe I was more exposed to more people. I don't know, but yeah, that sucked. Maybe my immune system was down because I didn't get much sleep too, and it was just terrible. But then Friday night, went out with family we also celebrated my brother-in-law getting a new job, and I guess somewhat semi-celebrating that I was home. And then yesterday we went to my sister's house and ate some good food. And then, not yesterday, Saturday. And then Sunday I was sick all day, and that sucked. And yeah, I also played some games. But mostly Smash. I decided to try and finish all the classic modes and get all the spirits. And I'm not actually sure which spirits you can get from the spirit board and which you have to get from other means. And I know, Alpha, you got all the spirits, so, did you follow a guide online?
But most...
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's a pretty good guide out there online for where you can get them all. Because there are a couple that I still am missing from, like, where you have to get the, what do you call them, the cores, and you have to make them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those are the ones I'm missing, but...
And some of the ones that you summon through cores you can find in World of Light, and there's some that you get through the challenge mode that you actually encounter on the spirit board. So there's some even keel between all three of those. So
yeah.
Which two are you missing?
Mew and I forget who else. I forget which section it's in, but this Pokemon is before Chikorita and after Mewtwo, so I take it's Mew.
It's got to be Mew.
It's got to be Mew.
The Mew is a challenge board.
Okay.
Spirit.
Yeah.
That's
it,
like
then.
an
That's
impossible
a hard.
thing.
That I don't think you can use a hammer, can you?
No.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's gonna be.
Darn
It's got to be elusive. It's Mew, so I mean, hey.
Mhm.
There you go.
It's one of
Makes
those like
sense.
9.9 ones or something, right?
Good.
I did the 9.9 challenge. That
think
was,
it's the
I think that was a costume or something. I forget.
Maybe it's World of Light. Maybe it's
It must be.
beat the final boss without dying.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
Oh,
Which thankfully
could
is
be
on
that.
any difficulty, so you can
Yeah,
do that on easy
I
mode.
I
so.
got to the very end and like died once, and then I was like, well, I'm not attempting this again because you have to go through the actual level of it until you reach the top, and then beat the boss. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a toughie. I tried it, but
You're right.
it's hard. But on to Ryan. What have you been up to, man?
Man, I got some great news because I took my licensing exam for dental school, and I found out that I passed. So that means
Yay.
in
Nice.
2 months
Congrats.
I will be a dentist. So get your teeth ready, people.
Cool.
Because
Yeah.
No offense, but I don't like the dentist office.
well, hey, not many people do, man. But I'll have video games that you can play. So there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Gross will take care of you. So
There you go.
And then he
Good
hits me
for
with
you,
the
good
laughing
for you.
gas.
Yeah. Yeah. See, there's some good things there.
Now he's going to be called Dr. Wreckit.
yes,
Dr. Wreckit, the dentist. It's that Wreck-It
I'm gonna
Ralph,
brush
Wreck-It
it.
Ralph.
I'm going to wreck it. Your smile.
What? I'm getting out of here.
but congratulations, man. It's really good to hear. We're
Yeah.
proud of you, man.
Congrats, man.
Thanks. I'm really, really happy about that.
You don't sound so enthusiastic.
Yeah. So I just opened a huge door in my life. I'm gonna be a dentist. No big deal.
No big deal.
He's being humble.
Yeah. And Ethan, what have you been up to this week?
Well, it's kind of promotion, but I don't really want to be at promotion, but it's something that I've been up to. I work for Pond South, and I've been doing their commercial stuff for 6 months now. And we've been practicing and rehearsing what is known as the Pond Shopping Network. And it's basically a live stream on Facebook and YouTube and cable. It's like a home shopping network like QVC. But you can also, because it's a pawn shop, you can also call and sell the same items. And so it's a very unique experience. We've been working on it. They've been working on it for over a year now. But I just started in late August. And now we got the ball rolling on that. I put out my own video on my own little side business I'm trying to start up. Put a video on that, and it seems to be getting a little bit decent attention.
Cool.
What's
And,
the side business that you're trying to start up? If you
Yeah,
don't mind me asking.
I do like a video production, like commercials. I make websites. I do a social media post. It's called EV Production. Everyone who's watching this, look it up.
Do you edit videos?
Oh yeah. I mean, I do YouTube stuff, and that kind of got me into editing videos. Is watching Pokemon videos back in like 2010, and then 2011. I was like, hey, I have a 3DS camera and a TV. And so I put that out there for a while, and then I got Camtasia and started editing like Pokemon Showdown, and that kind of got me into editing. And from there, I started playing more games. Of course, I was limited to how crappy my laptop was at the time. And then I got a better, still crappy laptop and was able to barely play TF2. And then I got a good computer, and I was like, oh, Overwatch, that's fun. And so ever since then I started doing around what was it, 2014, 15, something like that. I started taking video editing classes and video recording and all that kind of stuff at the community college near where I live, and basically I graduated from that almost 2 years now. I'm old. Anyway, and basically now got a job doing it for Pond South, and like I said, my side business where I do it for kind of local restaurants and stuff. But I have a client that's kind of all over the country. But yeah, I do
you
it
know
all.
how to set up all those like live streams and stuff?
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Maybe you can wind up helping us with some of the things we wanted to do.
Interesting.
Yeah, I figured you put that bug in his ear, and we can definitely talk about that because we've been doing a lot of stuff, a lot of discussion behind the scenes, and some we brought up in the podcast.
Yeah.
But I know Ryan's got to go. I mean, we can always discuss this later behind the scenes. And I can always keep Drew and Ethan in touch.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
put that out there.
Because
Let's
as soon as
stop
he
talking about
said
boring work stuff and start talking about games, dang it.
Yep.
I knew as soon
jump
as he
into
said, I edit videos, and I knew Drew was like,
Yeah, you knew where I was going. But I also didn't want to take the spotlight because I knew we were in a rush. So I was just like putting that in his ear, like, we got to talk about something after.
Yeah, I got Premiere. I used to use Camtasia, but I got Premiere a couple months ago, and good lord, I love using that.
Nice.
Depending on if I have decent financial prosperity in the next few months, I might get Premiere, so I'm sticking with Camtasia right now. And obviously,
it'll be a learning curve for you. It was easier for me because I learned Avid, which is the most complicated editing software and the most buggy editing software probably to exist. But because I learned that one, it was easier to learn like 3 others that I've learned in the past couple of years. So I know like 4 or 5 now.
Okay. So did you, Evie and Ryan, did you guys play anything this past week?
Oh, like games?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, dude.
I don't play games.
Jeez.
you're right.
The main game I've been playing. I play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. That's something that I really like to play.
Yo, I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's just got too expensive, like the actual card games. And I tried out Duel Links and was a bit disappointed by how everything was cut in half. The field was cut in half. The life
It makes it faster, which makes it more appealing to new players. And it definitely is like, if anyone's trying to join into it, that's how you do it. And then you start playing the card game.
See,
you can play the card game relatively cheap because the new deck that came out, Salamangreat, you can buy 3 of those. That's like $30, and then like a couple of staples. Like if you don't know what staples means, it's just basically cards that go in any deck.
See, I played Yu-Gi-Oh from the beginning to the when like the Ixies showed up. Like that's kind of when I fell off of it. And the reason I fell off was because I really had nobody to play with, and
that's how it is for a lot of
I was building my deck for like a good year or so, just trying to keep up. And then I was just like, you know what? I have nobody to play with, so I just kind of fell off. But I've always been interested in continuing to play it.
Yeah, I feel like the game got kind of it's too complicated for new players for one thing.
It is.
And if you take a break from it, it's so hard to get into it because they introduced pendulums, which is just a mess of card text.
Yeah.
And then they introduced links, which I personally still really don't like. Because they're too easily abused, and you can tell because there's a lot of cards that are on the ban list now that were never on there before because they were terrible. But then Konami said, oops, we forgot about this card. Ban! Hope you enjoyed spending money on obtaining this one obscure card that no one else wanted up until this point. You can't use it anymore.
They did that a lot. They did that a lot because people came up with these crazy combos with like the addition of one card that just made a useless card broken.
Yeah.
I think there was like, which I don't understand why they felt the need to ban all the cards and not just the one that made the combo broken.
Yes!
Like for example, Thousand Eyes Restrict is banned because of a combo of cards that are also banned. So why is Thousand Eyes Restrict still banned?
Oh Lord.
For anybody who knows what I'm talking about.
I think Thousand Eyes Restrict, I think it's limited. I'm pretty sure you can use it.
Well, last I checked years ago, it was banned.
Oh, well, years ago. The game's changed. Basically, to give a more, I guess, modern day example is there was an Xyz that could it could basically make a card really broken. And it could keep doing this broken thing where it could just destroy your opponent. Your opponent couldn't play anything. Just to give kind of a generic kind of sound to it. Well, they hit the cards that it could make better, But those cards themselves weren't the problem. The problem was the enabler.
You
And they
wonder.
seem to not want to hit the enabler, especially if it's a new card. Because they want people to get that card. They want
Yeah.
people to play it because it's new. Eventually, they will like ban it with Firewall Dragon. But, gosh dang, that thing should have been banned long ago.
I will tell you one of the reasons, or one of the determining factors that pushed me off from the game was getting a bunch of like really rare cards that would all of a sudden become commons in the next set, and then you realize you just wasted like hundreds of dollars, and that was kind of like one of the one of the things that I stopped playing because I had a remove from play deck. And I was trying to get a hold of the DD Warriors and the Necroface, which at the time were new. And so DD Warrior was like a tournament pack secret rare, I think. And I wound up getting 3 of them, and the same with the 3 Necroface being secret rares. And then they became like commons in the next set, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, but Ryan, you gotta leave soon. So what games you been playing?
I've been mostly replaying some Skyrim, which has been kind of fun to get back into. Just how big that game is.
Before Bethesda went to crap.
Yeah, we won't talk about that, but
So I've heard.
yes,
Fallout
you're right.
76. Yeah. Now I have to ask because I've considered buying Skyrim. Of course, probably when it goes on sale. But how is it from a newcomer's point of view? Because I've never touched.
I have that same
some of
question.
I mean, I think it's fantastic. I mean, have you played Breath of the Wild? I'm assuming.
I want
Yes.
to, but I haven't.
Okay.
You have a backlog of Zelda games to play first.
Yes, I do.
I know, right? Yeah, there's so
One
many.
down, 50 to go. Yeah.
The backlog just gets bigger and bigger. But I
Still
mean,
need to play
it's hard
Ocarina.
to compare it to any other games if you haven't played like an Elder Scrolls game before. I'm trying to compare it to like something like Breath of the Wild, where it's like you have points of interest all over the world, and you kind of just make your own adventure in the sense that you can like go in virtually any direction you want, which is the perfect kind of game for me. So if that's
the idea.
something that
Okay.
interests you in terms of like having hundreds of hours of content and you going at your own pace and doing what you want, I think I'd highly recommend it.
Okay. 'Cause
And
I do
stupid
like
NPCs.
Starlink. So I do like Starlink, so that's kind of... Dude, that game should be called Time Sync, because I have spent so much time in that game. That's what I've been playing this week. It's
Star
just,
Sync.
Yes, I'm serious, dude. I was like... It was Friday night, I was playing, I was like, I'll keep playing, and I'll get off in a little bit. I looked down, I was like, 3 a.m.? What? So I had to...
Oh boy,
3 a.m.
Dang it, I missed that joke.
You asked for that one, man.
No boy, 3 a.m. That was good, guys. Good job. That's going at the end.
We got
Clap,
you.
clap, clap.
We got you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game, but it's just one of those games you have to watch how much time you put into it, because it's like, oh, I'm doing this mission. Oh, hey, there's that giant thing I need to scan for the dictionary, whatever the thing is, the log. Ooh, hey, there's some stuff I can mine. Ooh, I can go sell the stuff I just mined. Oh, hey, I've got that mission. Oh, there's another mission. So it's very much, you could do all kinds of stuff. That's a great thing. It's just you have to manage what you do. And also on my end, I'm actually using my mom's laptop because mine is kind of fried right now.
I forgot.
So, yeah, mine's in the shop, and I thought it was just the fan motor that was messed up, but turns out it may be either the motherboard or the hard drive. So, I don't know what the future holds for my Toshiba laptop, but I might be getting another laptop. I'm not sure. I still haven't heard from the lady yet, so we'll just see how that goes. But my mom is awesome for letting me borrow her laptop, so that's
Shout out
that's
to
awesome.
Mom!
Yeah,
Go
shout
Mom.
out to my mom. So Alpha Mom. So
Oh,
or,
Mom.
no, Beta Mom, Beta still. I don't know. Gosh. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh goodness. Anyway, since Ryan is gone, I don't want to eat up too much time. And since he brought this up,
He's gone already?
and I said since he's got to go, and since I don't want to eat his time.
I was
up,
like, wow.
Wow, that
Say
was
bye.
really fast.
but
No, I'm still here for another 30 minutes.
Yeah. Since he brought it up in the pre-recording, I do want to let him talk about it a good bit because he pointed it out that this week yesterday, actually, the day we're recording this is Monday. Yesterday, Sunday, was the 2-year anniversary of the Nintendo Switch releasing, and obviously that's a huge deal. The Switch is a great system for obvious reasons, but let's let Ryan tell us why he loves the system so much and, why it's such a big deal that we've had the system for 2 years.
A big deal.
I don't know if it's because it came after the Wii U, but there are many other reasons. But this is definitely my favorite console I've ever owned.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they're the obvious things like where you can be playing a game in full, beautiful HD, and then a family member wants to turn the game on, and you're like, well, want to watch a sports game? I could keep playing my game, and and I'll go in my room and not miss a beat.
Yep.
So there's just so many instances. I never really considered taking any of my home consoles, home to if I visited my parents or if I was taking a flight or on a long trip. I was like, it's just too much hassle with all the wires and everything, trying to hook everything up, finding a good place to put it. This thing is so easy. I could set it up in 3 minutes, and I can just take it wherever I want. So, I mean, it's basically a portable system in my eyes because I take it wherever I go. And I just love that. I mean, being able to play everything I've wanted. And I kind of I've double dipped on a lot of games just because it's the Switch. I have a lot of games on here that I've already played. I've already played Skyrim on the PC, but I wasn't gonna pass up on it. I just want as many games as I can fit on the system because I love it so much.
Yep.
And
Is there any need for a 3DS really at this point?
Yeah, sadly. I mean, we got Pokemon coming, so that's
and they keep making 3DS games.
Yeah.
They're slow. I think they're slowly letting it die. Which
I wish they would port some 3D exclusives to the Switch.
Yeah. Because a lot of the stuff that we've been
like
getting for the 3DS so far has been ports like Extra Epic Yarn and Luigi's Mansion and all that stuff. It's been ports of older games, and that's cool. Like you said, the Wii U was kind of trash, and so a lot of the stuff from the Wii U is getting ported, like Epic Yarn and Mario Maker, and now it's getting a sequel. So a lot of the stuff from
Mario
the Wii
Maker
U
was not ported. Mario Maker was not ported, but it is getting a sequel.
I mean, it was ported to the 3DS.
Yeah.
Oh, to the 3DS.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about to the Switch. Okay.
Oh, wait,
I was just saying a lot of the Wii U games are now on the 3DS.
Oh, I was talking about 3DS to the Switch. But then, because I want to play, I had a game in my head that I was just thinking of.
Well, one game I'm thinking of is Samus Returns. That was a fantastic game.
Yep.
And I'd like to see some of those games like you're talking about exclusive to 3DS. Now that it's kind of slowly dying, and it lived a good life, but man, let's just put everything on the Switch, please.
R.I.P. Prime 4, boys.
I want to play the Xenoblade Chronicles that they put on 3DS. But I want to play that on the Switch.
Yes, I want to play the original.
Because it was on the Wii U, right?
The original was on the Wii.
Oh.
The Wii. So it went from Wii to 3DS. So I wish they would
get Fortnite on the 3DS.
And I also want to play. Play Radiant Historia.
I'm done with that game.
Oh, really?
I had never touched Fortnite.
Yeah. I'm done. I quit the addiction.
It's not like a bad game by any means.
No,
the fan base is full of children, so it has the.
So they curse more than
that's what
adults.
happened with Minecraft and all those games. It just happened.
Freddy's, Undertale.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, if you're a child watching this, that's not saying anything bad about you. It's just
you should be ashamed of yourself and cry in the corner of your room.
Don't listen to Evie.
If you like Fortnite, you probably want Steven Smash.
You're just saying
there's
stuff
a lot of
to the
truth
mic
to that,
to embarrass yourself later.
Anyway, so I mean, but like we're talking about the Switch, there's so much to offer, and there's so many games that people have played before that, like you said, Ryan, it's because it's portable. It's on the Switch. It's got great graphics, and it's portable. And even though they're ports that people have played 10 times over, they're like, I'm going to get it because it's on the Switch. And I think that says something about the system and the games and the library that it has, because there's something for everybody. Indie games, AAA titles, Nintendo exclusives, ports, remasters. There's just so much on this system, and it's still growing. We're finally getting a
Smash.
Pokemon main series game. We've got an incredible Mario and Zelda game on here. Smash Bros. There's just so much for this system to offer, and I think that's part of what has contributed to its success, because there is so much for so many people.
Definitely. And there's so much coming, too. This year is packed.
Yep.
I'm excited
Fire Emblem,
to
Animal
watch.
Crossing.
I'm excited to watch people play levels of Super Mario Maker 2.
Yeah.
Because I suck at Mario, and I don't really, I guess, I don't have the time to just sit there and build levels and then play levels, also because I suck at it. But I love watching people play levels and troll levels and just like some of the genius stuff people make. And I'm so excited to see the implementations from Mario Maker 2 and some of the people that I watch play Mario Maker. I want to see those things put into, their videos.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, for me, that game was like a dream come true, because ever since I was like 5, and I would play like Mario 64 and all that, I would draw Mario levels. I would just do that all the time as a kid.
I did that with Sonic.
Yeah, and so with Mario Maker, there needs to be a Sonic Maker now. But
I know.
with Mario Maker,
That'd be cool. Sega,
that
are you
would
listening?
be a cool game.
There's
No,
a couple
Sega
of
doesn't
Maker
listen.
games that
They make
need.
Sonic. They make Sonic Forces.
There's
Anyway,
a couple of
that's
there's
true,
a
yeah.
couple of Maker games they need, and one of them is Zelda.
Ooh, yeah.
Like and they have the different styles. You have the NES
Oh,
Zelda.
we were
you have
talking
the
about
SNES
that,
Zelda. Yeah. Now the new like 3D / Switch style. There's a few
Claymation.
different top-down styles they can use. That'd be so cool. Where people make their own dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool.
Pokemon Maker, customizable shinies, customizable
that would be-
gems.
That would be cool.
That would be
Where you could like
How about
color
just
your own Pokemon.
How
Yeah.
about just Nintendo Maker, where you could just make any Nintendo game?
Yeah,
Well, they have like RPG Maker. We could have a Nintendo one.
That would
I
be,
tried to learn RPG Maker way back when, but it was all in Japanese, and I don't speak Japanese.
which I think that
Well,
got
there
ported
is
to the
coming.
Switch,
It's-
right?
It's coming soon, I think. Right? Is it?
To the Switch?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for
Wow.
sure. I think it's VX is coming, right? Oh no, wait, which one? I can't remember
It's
which.
something RPG Maker, so I'm pretty sure.
MV. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, that's cool. And you can share them online, I'm sure, so that's cool.
I want a Mega Man Maker.
Yeah, September 3rd. It's coming.
Dude, there's so many games that
That-
people can
that
just
I'm definitely
customize. I mean, it just, man.
Sonic, Mega Man, and Zelda are the ones I think of, like the top ones.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Most popular, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Minecraft Maker. Oh, wait.
Well, that's kind of what Minecraft is. Redundancy.
How about a Minecraft D Maker, where you just destroy everybody's creations?
Yeah.
So it's basically
Gaming.
Fortnite then. So
So basically an admin on a Minecraft server.
oh,
Yeah.
WreckitRyan Craft.
shade.
You destroyed my base, Kevin. I'm coming for you.
Kevin
I don't know anyone named Kevin.
from Kevin from Miss Steinberg's 6th grade math class.
I'll get you, Kevin. Okay.
I'm gonna get you.
That was perfect, Drew. Okay.
I don't even know a Steinberg. Maybe.
Miss Meg, Stevie destroyed my base in Minecraft. Grab
Okay.
Detention!
Okay. This train is derailing. We should probably get. Okay. Host and turn. I thought. Okay. But I know he's about to leave in about 15, 20 minutes, so I don't want to bide his time too much. I don't want to hold his
do.
time too much longer.
Oh, man.
But obviously, the biggest thing, in my opinion, that dropped this week was that Pokemon Direct that announced Pokemon Sword and Shield for the Nintendo Switch in all its glory. And of course, we got the
Oh
three
my
starters.
God.
So before we go any further, I gotta ask: Team Score Bunny, Sobble, or Grookey?
Score Bunny.
Score Bunny.
I want to see their final evolutions, but based on just their first forms, I think Score Bunny.
Okay.
Oh, is it a clean sweep?
I'm only gonna like Score Bunny if it evolves into Big Chungus. Otherwise, no. Also, it's firefighting. Confirmed.
No.
Firefighting.
No, it's not.
No.
No.
Stop
Look
saying
at
about
me.
Litten.
Look at it, man.
Yeah, but also Sobble evolves
He's a
into
soccer
firefighting,
player.
and Grookey evolves into firefighting.
Yes.
Yes.
They all evolve into
I think-
firefighting.
I think I like
You guys-
Grookey the most. I feel like all of them. I feel like Grookey is my favorite.
Okay.
Just because, and I don't know if this is going to work in the video, but I'm going to show you guys something on my webcam if I can get it to work.
it won't be in the
I
video.
Yeah, we don't record video.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, well. Well, anyway,
But you
I
You
can
can go
always
to his
provi-
channel and see a video he posted where he talks about this.
Yeah, I
where
did
he
You
like
does-
a little-
you can
a solo
put a link in the
podcast.
description if you want to send a link over. We'll put the link in the description.
Oh, well, the picture is like on a piece of paper, so.
Oh.
And the
But-
green screen kind of took the green out of the picture when I watched it. I was like, oh, that's a predicament.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because I was like, I can't see
Anyway,
it.
but it's like a gorilla. I called it Woodorilla. Very creative, I know.
You missed Jungorilla, man.
But it's basically like the green Donkey Kong skin from Smash Brothers. Like, I looked at that one day and said, hey, that would be a cool Pokemon. And I drew it.
Yep.
That little
I
tree
mean,
on
he
the
does
head.
have his coconut gun, right?
His coconut gun
Gun.
can fire in spurts. If he shoots you, it's gonna hurt.
DK. I still
He's
wish
the
they hadn't
punch
changed
of
the
the leader.
remix for Smash. I still wish they kept it the same. Man, I mean, the new was just too funky.
How dare
It's
they
not-
desecrate it?
Yeah,
A natural relic.
exactly.
I gotta say though, I'm not really a fan of the 2D illustration of Score Bunny as much, but the model that we saw in the not actual gameplay trailer,
Mhm.
that 3D model I really liked. It was basically Meowth with bunny ears.
Yeah.
Interesting. I was like the opposite. I liked all the 2D renders better than the 3D ones.
I have to agree. Yeah.
Really?
Because I'm used to it by now, you know.
That's what I think my thing is too. Yeah. It
but yeah,
reminds me of Let's Go, so I'm like, I need those 2D renders back.
Yeah. Which thankfully, I feel like the shading and all that's a lot better than Let's Go. The lighting and
Oh,
the
yeah.
shading. It's almost, it's borderline cell shading, but it's not. It's like in between Let's Go and Dragon Ball Z games. Kind of that happy medium of shading and lighting.
Now
So-
that's the crossover
Pokemon-
that needs to happen.
Pokemon Let's Ball Z.
Ballsy.
Let's
That's
Ball Z.
nice.
that would be ballsy of them to do.
Even better pun.
Puns. But yeah, I'd have to say Score Bunny overall for me is just, they're all cute. Grookey is my least favorite. I'll go ahead and say that. Sobble is quite adorable, but man, Score Bunny, it's just, I have hope for that thing because, every time one of these new trios of starters gets released, I always peg one instantly that I like more. For Gen 3, it was Trico. For Gen 5, I think it was Snivy. For Gen 6, it was Chespin, and I'm so glad I did because I love Chestnut.
Chestnut is so cool.
Yes, and Gen 7, Papio just was immediately who I clung to. I was like, I love you so much. Still wish Primarina was more... I don't know, the whole mermaid thing. If they had made it gender differences where it looked like merman, mermaid and stuff, kind of like Venus
Merman and
flower
Barnacle
and stuff.
Boy.
I wanted
Yes.
that. I wanted that clown seal that
Yes.
was going around that people dubbed Ballio.
Yeah.
I was like, I want this monstrosity.
And I have a fan I have a fan drawing in, stewing in my head that I need to put to paper because I had that same thought. It was like a carny clown with a bubble barbell, and I still need to draw that because it's been like 3 years since that thing's been announced. Now I just need to draw it. So, but yeah. Anyway, very happy with this game so far. It looks good. I do wish it looked a little bit better because, I mean, the Switch could handle it, but for Pokemon, it looks amazing. I mean, it really does.
Thoughts on any of the supposed leaks going around that who knows if they're true or not, but they bring some interesting
Here's the thing, right?
thoughts.
Here's what I'm thinking, right? The leaks haven't appeared until, like, right now,
Yeah.
after it's been shown. I think all of them are
Yeah.
fake.
No. There was
Oh wait, yeah, some
at
were
least
older.
one. There was at least one I remember, and I don't remember if Papagenos went over it. But
He
I
did,
remember.
he did.
Yeah. There was a couple that were older that.
One was like
I'm
from
really-
October, September.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it predicted like the date that it would come out, which
Yeah, so like some of them were pretty neat, like the armored evolutions.
Yeah. Which would make sense. I still think the legendaries are going to be an offensive and a defensive wolf. I mean, that's kind of obvious just looking at the logo. But at the same time, I've also seen that leak where it said one's going to be a Pegasus and one's going to be like a steel snake, and I was like, that would be
like
rad.
That is
Do
really
you
cool.
think that
is
there'd
really
be
cool.
a third legendary that
would be a wolf.
That's like a Cerberus missing two heads, and the other two are supposed to be like part of it?
That would work.
That would be dope.
Or it
That
could
is
be
definitely-
almost like because I'm not sure the mythology of the English stuff. I know there's like Stonehenge
Yeah, I don't
and that
know.
giant on the hill and stuff, but Fenrir would make sense because he's like Norse and stuff. He's that giant wolf. He would make a great legendary, and he would make sense for the box art. So I mean,
Norse is Norway, right?
yeah,
That's Denmark. I don't know if that's part of it, but unless they just threw that in there.
yeah, it could just be like
Stonehenge was in Kalos. Not Kalos.
yeah, Geosinge Town.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was.
That was
yeah.
Kalos, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm mixing up my region names, but yeah. So this one it seems to be purely UK, and I heard some UK mythologies that I was like, huh, interesting. But there was like a dragon and a horse, and somebody mentioned like a wooden horse or something, and I was like, huh, like the Trojan horse.
Yeah,
the
that would be
war. I was
cool.
like, that's neat.
Yeah.
That would be dope. That would be really
Yeah.
cool, honestly.
But Armor Evolution sounds really cool, and I'm wondering if that would connect to Meltan. And I
Yep.
remember Papagenos mentioning something about, like, one of the theories had, like, almost like you breed something with a Meltan, and it, or you breed two things, or maybe you breed it with Meltan, and the outcome is, like, some kind of hybrid or
Yeah,
armor
yeah.
thing. So I actually commented on the video, and he liked it, and I think that if that was true, that would really explain why in Pokemon Go a while back we had a bunch of Dittos disguising themselves as Meltans. It's kind of like a hint at breeding almost.
Yep, and the theory I have is that could be why it looks like Ditto is because it serves the same purpose but armor.
Mhm.
So I
Yes.
was like, that would make
Yeah,
sense
that's
why it looks like
interesting.
Ditto. So I was like, huh, that's clever if they do that. So,
Huh.
Yeah. So, I mean, would they be born with like steel type? And so, are we going to
That's
get
really
like,
interesting.
almost like Alolan forms, except there's a bunch of Pokemon that are all part steel and they all have armor that's
Yeah.
like part of their body.
yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah, that would be so. Especially because some of them on the list are like Charizard, Mewtwo, and Flygon. That would be rad. That would be really
Oh,
cool.
Well, were they on the list for hybrid or armor evolutions, or were they on the list for? Because I remember
I
hearing
think
something
they
about
were on the
a
list for armor.
Charizard. I remember hearing something about Mega Stones, like a Z for Charizard and a Z for Mewtwo.
I think it was the armored evolutions
I-
thing.
Okay.
if memory serves.
Yeah,
Because I do
definitely
remember
a Charizard's in
Charizard.
it.
I do remember Charizard and Mewtwo being mentioned in Armor Evolution, which would be awesome. I hope the Armor Mewtwo looks like the armor from the movie.
Yeah, dude, that would be so sick. That'd be a great reference too.
Be so
And
cool.
the movie's coming out, like the remake of that movie's coming out
Yeah.
this year. So it would all tie together in a sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And then I want it as a costume from Mewtwo in
yes,
Smash.
absolutely. They would have to do it at
Yes.
that point.
Please.
So- Like I'm still thinking Bayonetta's going to get her costume for 3 when that comes out, and so that would be a
Yeah.
perfect tie-in to give Mewtwo his armored form from the movie because fan service and it makes sense. So I'm still hoping
Yeah.
we get DLC costumes.
Although
That'd be
I'm
such a
wondering-
great
I
investment.
know. They
I'm
can't
wondering
pass
the
that up.
ownership of that. Like, does the anime studio have ownership of that armor design? And
Ooh,
would they have to be
that's-
credited? You know, so that could be why they're staying away from it.
True, very true. That's a shame too if that's the case, because then you get all the hands in the pot and it's just
Unless the armor that they make for the game is reminiscent of it, and it's like, okay, this is good enough. This looks cool.
and
But
somehow
I would love to see a Mewtwo Mega Evolution like Z, like another one.
yeah. I have somehow lost Ethan. That's why he's quiet. so I'm going to try and get back in touch with him. But we can definitely continue talking because I know Ryan's about to leave.
Do you want us to keep talking?
Yeah, it says he's unavailable, so, and I hate to kill time in the podcast, but yeah, if you're wondering why Ethan suddenly went quiet, it's because apparently he lost connection or something. So, and like I said, I definitely don't want to keep Ryan held up. So, if you have any more thoughts on the game or any other,
well,
games
let's ask
coming out.
Ryan, if you have thoughts on the game that you want to talk about.
Well, did you guys see the image leak of the Score Bunny Final Evolution?
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
What do you guys think about that? I wanted to talk about
So
that.
cool.
I know it actually looks really cool.
Yeah, I think. See, the thing is, like you brought up, I think one of you guys brought it up that most of the image leaks like came out after the Pokemon Direct. A lot of the text leaks that we're kind of talking about were before, but the image leaks came after. So I don't know if that questions their validity, but I mean, if that wasn't the case, I would think that looks really convincing that that's like the final.
If anything, it's just cool.
Yeah. And I think they said it would be fire electric, which would be an awesome typing.
Either
I don't
fire
know if that
electric
was
or fire steel. I feel like if it's that
thought or
form.
what.
So
Okay.
There was a leak that mentioned what are they called? The Gen 4 starters getting Mega Evolutions, which I don't know how valid that is, but it would definitely point to a Gen 4 remake coming out, I think.
oh yeah,
Because it's
Just
skipped
like
right
Blaziken.
over. Yeah, it skipped right over Gen 2.
yep. Poor Typhlosion for Alligator and Meganium, but if that's the case,
They
same
could be saving that. They could be saving that for a future potential Let's Go of Gen 2. And
True.
you know,
True.
which I still think is going to be Let's Go Pichu and Let's Go Togepi, and they're going to give you really buffed out babies that can like stand on their own. Buffed out babies. Yeah, perfect IV buffed out babies that have like extra stats, and maybe if they bring back hold items, they'll have items that only specifically work for Pichu, like and Togepi.
It triples
like,
every
make them-
stat.
Yeah, and then basically something to make them work throughout the game. Like,
yeah, because
that
they're
you want to
pitiful.
keep it on your team. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'd work again with the fast electric and the somewhat slow but somewhat bulky normal type. So
And I doubt they would want to evolve just like the Pikachu and Eevee. So you would really need a reason to want to use them.
yeah. Plus, I mean, they would have to do some work on Pichu because unlike Pichu has like no move pool. No. That's just through level up. They have about the same move pool. But Togepi has a very broad move pool, so you could actually do very well with the moveset for that thing. So.
Well, not only that, but for the special Pikachu and Eevee, they learned special moves.
Yeah, like
so
the
I can see that for
Glitzy,
Pichu.
Glam, and
Yeah.
Sizzly Slide. and
Sizzly
Slushy
Slide.
Splash.
Yeah, exactly.
down to
Super
bubble.
sizzly.
Super. Yeah.
They can each learn a move called Buff Baby, and they like all their stats like.
Like 150, 100.
Yes.
No,
Automatic
all
kill.
their stats sharply raised to max. It's just they go up 6 levels right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be broken.
That
would
be
be
cool.
amazing.
You're so
if they
adorable,
just-
and you kick butt.
It's basically like Swords Attack, but maybe like a little bit stronger because they're babies. So you basically get everything for it in order to make them usable.
Yeah,
I mean,
because especially Pichu is just, whew. But he's cute, so.
And I would love to see just like the hairdos for Pikachu and Eevee. I'd love to see a hairdo you could do for Pichu to give it the spiky ear look.
Yes, dude. I'm still so glad they put that in Smash as an alt. That made my day.
That
When I
was
saw, I was
cool.
like, what? Yes. So, and then of course it gave it that adorable little Team Skull cap and stuff. So, they did do really good by
That
the
was a
alts
nice
this
touch.
time. There's still no
Yeah.
shiny Charizard and Mewtwo, but DLC.
Costume DLC. Yeah.
Yes, dude.
That's
I'm
what we
telling
were
you, I
saying
will
about-
buy
That has to
those.
be a thing.
I will buy those so fast. They just
Yeah.
need to give the Pokemon Trainer all 3 shiny alts. Well, actually, that's the thing. Ivysaur and Squirtle are already shinies, but they're not in the game. So I just
I'm back.
and Ethan is back. So
Yay. What
Jesus. If you want to know the most
Now I had
frustrating
to-
thing, try and unplug your lamp because you're trying to make it a better situation for your desk and then accidentally unplug your computer
ooh.
and then try and take that same plug and try and plug it in there and you're in an uncomfortable position because it's underneath part of your desk and you have to keep trying to force it into the plug-in outlet because it should be a simple thing of matching the male end into the female end, and it should be simple. But no, it's not simple. 15 minutes.
Sounds good.
And with that, as Ethan enters, I think Ryan has to exit.
Yep.
Yeah. Are there any more final
I
thoughts you have?
No.
I will be
Thanks
player.
for having me.
Ryan's like, good riddance.
No. Did I say that? No. No, but thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Sorry I have to butt out so early.
It's totally understandable, man.
Just got to work on some teeth.
Yeah. Just gotta go practice with that plastic pear. Not pear. You'd have 2 teeth. You're in trouble. That plastic. You would know that. SpongeBob. But just go brush that plastic set of whatever. Okay. Terrible. Gosh. I mean, okay.
I know
Yeah.
what you mean. I know what you mean.
Knock some people out with some gas.
Yeah. We'll do.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys.
All right.
Well, have
See-
fun. I'll see you next time.
All right. Night, Ryan. Thank you.
Good night.
Ah!
Guys.
Bye.
All right, what were we talking about? Were we talking about Pokemon still?
We were.
Yeah.
All right.
So give
So-
us your thoughts on it, Ethan.
I've kind of got some thoughts on it. I feel like you guys have already talked about the basic stuff in the trailer and everything and some stuff, but
To an
what I,
extent, yeah.
yeah, what I want to focus on is the competitive aspect to it. What's in it, Drew? Andrew, do you play competitive Pokemon at all, like online?
Occasionally.
All right. Well, if you have you ever heard of Pokemon Showdown, Smokin'?
Yes.
Well, currently, right now, it's like this kind of divider somewhat between the community because fans like myself, I prefer to play on Pokemon Showdown, and some fans, don't want anything to do with Showdown. That's fine, but what happens is, I'm not going to bring up his name, but there's a certain that's on the
Hey.
internet.
I'll have to censor that.
Excuse me. Let me rephrase it. Furry. Anyway, so
That narrows it down. Okay.
anyway, but,
Not trying to stew the
basically
pot with this podcast. Continue, please.
I actually have no idea who you're talking
Okay.
about. But
It's
Probably a
good thing, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, but basically, he instead of having the two communities of Showdown and the people who just play the regular Pokemon games online, like VGC and all that, instead of having that, he tries his best to kind of separate the two and make it sure that they don't coexist peacefully. So, what I think that Pokemon should do, because Pokemon have been known, Nintendo has been known to shut down fan games and stuff, but they haven't shut down Showdown. And the reasoning for that, I feel, is because so much of their fan base plays that if they shut it down, they would be at a very negative position for their fans. Their fans would, I would hate them. I would hate them if they shut down Showdown. And I don't even play it a lot anymore at this point. But I would be mad because that's years of, your fans that have dedicated their time not getting paid for what they're doing, just doing it because they enjoy it. And so what the thing is, what I think Pokemon could do with this, and this is how it ties in with Gen 8, I think Gen 8, with the Switch being the console of choice, being able to support much more memory, much more data in the game, and,
More
just
updates.
files and everything. Yeah. I feel like Pokemon is the last main Nintendo game to not receive updates or DLC or anything like that, because even Mario Odyssey received additional outfits after it was released. And a
And
new
a whole
game
new
mode
game
as
mode,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, with Luigi's balloons. And so with that, Pokemon, I feel, has some catching up to do. So they could do monthly, bi-monthly updates, and I feel like what they could do with those is, not just add like some new, just like a new type of tournament that they seem to do like once every 1 or 2 months. But I think it would be good for them to kind of look at the Pokemon Showdown community, which do know a lot about the game. That's usually where you'll find a lot of the smartest players and the best players of the game, and in both regular and Showdown, you'll find them on there. And kind of see what the kind of fan base is saying. Let's say Ledian. I don't even know if you know what Ledian is, but Ledian is terrible. And let's say that the fan base says Ledian is absolutely terrible. Please, Game Freak, fix this. So Game Freak sees, they're like, oh, a lot of people on Pokemon Showdown are saying Ledian sucks. Let's look into Ledian, test it ourselves, and see how bad it is. Oh, wow, it is terrible. Well, maybe we should buff Ledian. And then like a month or two after the game is released, they release a balance patch that's updating Ledian and a couple other Pokemon. And I had this crazy idea. What if we start like we have been for the past couple of generations with less Pokemon in total, and like Ultra Sun and Moon added a few more Ultra Beast? How about every 3 or 4 months some new Pokemon are released to the game? You know what I'm saying? And they're not just given to you, but they're found wild on somewhere on the map. And you can go hunt for them. It's like a new kind of report system or whatever, where it's like, this just in, a new species of Pokemon has just been discovered on route blah, blah, blah. It makes me kind of think of the Gen 4, or is it Gen 5? I think it's Gen 5, where
Gen
you
5,
go
yep.
from route to city, and there's like a little in-between area. That's kind of what it makes me think of. And they could do something
like
like
the
that.
reports in Go, too. How they do the
Yeah,
field
yeah,
reports. Yeah.
Yeah, and they could tie it in. I mean, they could tie in Pokemon Go with this, like, kind of the same kind of universe type thing or whatever.
Mhm.
And there's, like, a whole bunch they can do with it, and I think the possibilities are endless. But I just think that if Pokemon doesn't do, like, monthly or bi-monthly updates, I feel like it's going to make the game, regardless of how much they change it up, regardless of how much they try and make it flashy, it's just going to be the same with the others. It's just going to die out after a couple of months of release, and people have used all the new toys and all the new Pokemon and everything, and people are going to get tired of it. And this generation is probably the worst for that, because it seemed like the hype of Ultra Sun and Moon lasted for maybe a month, and it just kind of died. I know it's not just me, too, because you could tell on Pokemon Showdown they have the player base, like how many players are online currently, and it just fell off very quickly.
I can attest to not really playing Pokemon except shiny hunting, pretty much. It just... I mean, and I have issues, obviously, because everybody wants to go online and just use legendaries or only the top 20 OP Pokemon, and don't want any diversity in their team, and don't want to try anything new except what the VGC community uses. And so I have a problem with that, but a lot of it is also because of just the point where it's just gotten stagnant. It's just, like you said, there's no change. There's nothing but some new... Now, they did a really cool tournament, which I was sadly not able to participate in, where you choose an entire team based off of one typing. Only fighting, only fire, any secondary type you want, but they're all a core typing. And so it's insane diversity, but it's also a clever way to incorporate all kinds of different Pokemon from all kinds of different typings into one team.
That's nothing new to me, because they've done that on Showdown for years.
Yep, and of course the Mix and Mega and all those great modes and stuff. I played Mix and Mega. I loved that. And of course, like the base stat total rearrangements and stuff. There's so much that they could do, and it could just be like a temporary patch. I mean, it would just be the tournament, and for that tournament, the stats are changed, the abilities are changed, whatever. And in some cases, that could be beneficial because Game Freak would say, oh, hey, this ability works really well in this Pokemon, and it's not super broken. Let's give it to them.
Exactly.
And it could be a special event event ability or something. So kind of like the hidden abilities, but not. It'd be an event exclusive. So
right, and Pokemon has shown, especially with this generation, it's kind of started more with the 5th generation, I feel like, that they know how to make good Pokemon, especially with Gen 7. Because if you look at the Ultra Beast, and me and Alpha talked about this a lot just outside of YouTube and this podcast, but I mean, like, they gave Pheromosa 151 base speed. That is so specific. There's no way they did it on accident or decided it would be cool. They did it because they knew it would outrun stuff like Mega Alakazam, Mega Aerodactyl by that 1 point.
Yep.
And they did it on purpose, and they did it for all the Ultra Beasts having very specific stats. And the only exception of one of the Ultra Beasts being bad is Guzzlord, and that's just because of its type.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. But
Well, and the stats are very lopsided too.
it's very weird. It's a very weird Pokemon.
Yeah.
But that's the only one that was like, that's not very good. But the rest of them, like, top. Some
Yes.
band. So
Yeah.
it's like, they know what they're doing, and I feel like if they took that kind of mentality with it, they could make competitive something more than just something that's cool to play for a couple months and then just drop it until the next game comes out.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they could do a lot with it.
I think that Game Freak might have attempted something with that when they had like the mythicals that they added later on.
Mhm.
But the problem was that people found them in the data, and so they weren't new.
Yeah, they weren't a surprise.
So
and
if they
what
can
they
actually
That's a
make
problem too,
surprises.
the community. I'll say that.
And the problem that Game Freak, because Gen 5 did it really cool and well, because a lot of the legendary events were events. Liberty Garden, you went there to catch Victini.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or you did something special to get Genesect. It wasn't just handed to you.
Gen
you had
4
to go
and Gen
work
3
for
did it.
And
Yep.
So, yep. And I loved that about, especially the Victini event. I was like, holy cow, I'm fighting a little legendary. And
Yep.
I'm catching it myself. It was just cool to see that. And then it's just, oh, hey, here's Aura. Oh, hey, here's
Right, it's just
Volcanion.
handed to you.
Yeah, there's no reward or effort. It's just, hey, here's a really good legendary. Take it. You just can't use it in battle. So, it's just,
But yeah, and what's the point of making the mythicals if you're not going to use them in battle at all?
Exactly.
Like, they should, and this is another thing, with the problem with diversity, with everyone using the same 30 Pokemon in VGC, that problem further is extended by them only supporting in tournaments one game mode, and that is doubles.
Yep.
If they would switch it up and change it to singles a year, or change it to just like a different
have both.
format or something, huh?
Or have both, like one day be singles, one day be doubles.
Yeah.
So-
The thing is with that, I wouldn't do both at once, and here's why. It sure that allows people to do different tournaments every year, but what that does is it splits your competitive fan base, and with Pokemon's not being that big anyway, it would kind of cause a problem.
True.
It's like I can't really think of a good example, but if you're making, let's say here's an example. Let's say you're going to an amusement park, and they have this gigantic roller coaster. Wow, that one's really cool. And then there's another one to your right, and you're like, oh, wow, that one has fireworks. Wow. And so now you have all your fans going to do the two different ones. But of course, for a music park, that's good. But for a competitive thing, that's not good. Maybe not a good example, but
I get what you're saying.
yeah.
It'd be better to have it two different times. That way, if people like singles and doubles, they can participate in them at just different
Right.
times of the year. And that would give different increments of time where people can to tune in to one of them. So
Their key
I would
thing to
love
do
to
right now, because they've drawn in what I would say is the casual player with Pokemon Go
Yep.
and Let's Go. They've drawn in the casuals. Now it's time to bring them in for the long haul, for the long run, get them into competitive. Make this game tell the player more than it ever has of how to get Pokemon with good stats. And honestly, small thing, I'm not going to dwell on this, but honestly, I just think IVs should be just removed. But it makes it so much easier for people to get into, and it make it a lot faster. It would give people less of a reason to hack, which I'm not going to get on that thing.
I really think that they should. I don't think IVs and EVs should ever be scrapped. That's just my opinion.
Oh,
because
EVs,
it's just been
EVs are necessary.
I mean, it's been a thing since Gen 2 when they actually had the data and the capability to do that. What I think they should do is like hyper training, but you have to level up to level 100. It's like you can hatch a Pokemon, catch a shiny, whatever, making competitive. You just have to level up to level 100 first. What they could do is change that up. And it's like you can train at any level, anytime, and make it competitively viable right then and there. Give it all the stats it needed, lower any stats it doesn't. But
That would work.
at any
I
level,
want complete customization of stats.
yeah,
Right, because the thing is
without hacking.
yeah, well, you could have your party team, and this is what happens to me. I don't know if this happens to you guys, but with my party team, this last gen was like a certain exception. But with my party team that I go through the game with, I usually just drop them in the box and forget about them.
Yeah.
There was very few that I leveled up to 100 and actually used hybrid training. But even then, I didn't have the breeding moves. I didn't have, maybe the right ability on them or something, which, there's an ability capsule, but hidden abilities is a thing, of course.
Yep.
And so the hard thing is, there's so much that you have to make just a Pokemon you like, that you've trained, good. And I think your suggestion works too, where make it at any level, or even I would just say level 50, because it's not hard to level up to
Very
level 50.
true, yeah. 50
It
is a
doesn't
good
take
cap.
long at all.
Yeah.
Especially
What I want to
if you have the
see
EXP share.
is somewhere in the post game, wherever you're gonna have basically once you beat the game, so any adjustments that you're gonna do to buff your Pokemon are not gonna affect the story.
Right.
Once you reach like the Battle Tower-esque area, they should have things like bottle caps and rare candies and things like that, but cheap, and you could buy them in bulk, because at that point you kind of want to experiment with all different Pokemon and teams,
Yeah,
and the only way to really do that is to have full access to everything.
And another thing too, with whenever you play competitive, you get battle points, which is good because it gives you move tutor access.
Mhm.
But what I think it should do, I think it should still give battle points. But I think to give players an incentive to keep raising Pokemon and to make it faster and easier for them to do it and make them kind of want to, is give them the EV medicines. The protein, HP up, zinc, and all that. Give them that as a reward, or rare candies as a reward, more frequent. Like every game you get something like that, depending on how good you do in the game, and depends on how much more rewards you get, striving for you to keep getting better and better. And it basically creates a system where the more you play, the more Pokemon you'll be able to raise and get to a good level, basically, of how competitive they are.
It really encourages legitimate play that way too.
Yes,
I mean, it's not a hassle to breed a perfect IV Pokemon with the egg moves that you want. It becomes way easier. And of course, there's always going to be those people that are so stubborn. It's like, no, I'm not wasting time breeding a Pokemon when I can literally just plug it in my Game Shark or my PKX or whatever. And I have a problem with that. But anyway, that's a video for another time. It's just, it makes it more personal. At the same time, it's like, I raised this. I hatched this from a baby. And I put the time into its egg moves. I put the time into breeding for the perfect IVs. And now it's like I can do all that minus the hassle and time consumption of getting the perfect IVs and trying to make sure it's perfect in every way. And that would work great for shinies, especially because it's like, well, I have this great shiny, but its ability is crap. Its stats are crap. It's just no, but then it's like, wait, I can train it all. So
the problem is the time consumption and rarity in trying to get a Pokemon that's the best it can be.
Yeah.
It's I guess I'm not going to use this even though I like it, but there are stronger versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if they make it so that you can buff out everything from a Pokemon and change its nature and everything, then it becomes way more accessible to play competitively.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And
changing
I think
nature would be revolutionary. Holy cow!
and I think Chris, you have I think you told me something about this. You had a Pokemon that you were trying to get a certain hidden power of, right?
Yes.
How long did it take you to get that? With good stats and nature and everything?
I think, you're talking about Oricorio or Blacephalon? Because
I can't remember. Just name the longest one, just giving a good example.
I really haven't bred for a hidden power. I was hoping for a hidden power grass on my Oricorio that was going to be shiny. It ended up being ice, which isn't bad, but I was
ice is great.
Oh, it could be grass, but hey, because I was hoping to hit water, rock, and ground types with that. But ice is still great. But that was one time that I was like, I wish it was that. But I was very happy when I got my timid shiny Blacephalon with hidden power grass, because that's the only type coverage it has besides like fire and ghost. I was like, yes. So I was very stoked about that.
The main thing, though, is this for hidden power especially. I mean, the game basically tells you that the way it works is it just kind of says, why would you spend days, weeks, some people who are unlucky enough, months to get a Pokemon with the right hidden power, the right IVs, the right nature, the right moves for breeding, the right ability, when you could just hack it in a minute, right?
Mhm.
It's like
Not only that, but you get it, and then you're like, yeah, this Pokemon's not really working out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't, that's the thing. If Pokemon Showdown didn't exist, you wouldn't even know if you could use that Pokemon effectively or not. That's kind of
In your
like the
team
thing.
comp, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like Pokemon Showdown. I was talking about the kind of fan base kind of divide that
There should
it
be
kind
like
of
a
makes right
Pokemon.
now.
There should be like a Pokemon Showdown in Pokemon where you can play a virtual battles and all the Pokemon are sprites, and you could fully customize them. But
Well, that's
you
what I
can't
liked
actually.
about.
You
That's what
can't
I liked
actually.
about.
Yeah, you can't actually play them throughout the game. It's just like maybe in one city, there's like a video game version of Pokemon, and you can make a completely customizable team, and they're all like old sprites.
Well, that's
And-
kind of almost like how the Battle Factory was in Gen 5 and below, where you could rent Pokemon. But then they took that away. And I don't understand, because that was an excellent way for players to learn new Pokemon. And they completely removed it. And I'm very confused about that. To this day, I don't understand why they removed it. Maybe there's just too many Pokemon at this point. I don't know. But to me, it's just mind-boggling, because that was one of the highlights of me playing the games afterwards, was using other sets.
Even with that
Pokemon.
double team Dusclops?
Oh! We'll ignore that one for now. But just like, if it wasn't enough that Pokemon has the divide in its competitive player base with Pokemon Showdown and YouTuber I won't name, they also have the divide between people who want to play it legitimately and follow the rules versus the people who hack and don't follow the rules. Because it's in the rules, but they can't enforce it, because then their entire their player base is gone. Because like the majority of the big guys in VGC, they all hack.
Yep.
And the problem with that is it causes them to be in this kind of hole, and they can't get out of it because of just, if they enforce the rule, they lose their players. If they get rid of Showdown, they lose their players. And
That's why they need to support it in the game.
yeah, they need to have some kind of way to kind of use Showdown as like a tool for people to learn how to, what sets and everything, and just use that as like a resource kind of thing to learn what people are using, what people are not using, and then also make the game easier to play so there's less reason to hack. Then you can start enforcing the rule, because people, it won't be so much of a big deal for people then. Because I imagine someone who's hacking like right now and takes minutes to make Pokemon, compared to like if they put the ban hammer on anyone who's hacking right now, they would have to wake up and realize it will take them days and weeks to keep getting this stuff. And that's like I said, like you said, they don't even know if that Pokemon set is going to work or not. And so they have to retrain a Pokemon for a certain hidden power, or they have to retrain something, or train a new Pokemon entirely. And there's just so many steps involved with that. It just needs to be simplified.
It needs to be streamlined and simplified, yeah.
Yes. Because otherwise the fan base that they've drawn in with the Pokemon Go and Let's Go will just leave after
I can tell you
the
that
game as usual.
Playing Digimon Cyber Sleuth, they made it really easy to kind of change around your Digimon. I know that they had some of their own natures and stuff, and it was as simple as buying a USB in the game and like use it on your Digimon, and then their nature changes, and their stats changes. And I'm like, why can't you use something like that in Pokemon? Like, I want this Pokemon to have this. Like, there should be an ability tutor. There should be,
that would be nice.
A breeding move tutor. There should be something like bottle caps and rare candies that are very easy to get a hold of in like maybe the last
faster.
town.
The more Pokemon you get, the faster it is. But when you're starting out, it's always super difficult to get a good team. and you're limited to how much you can get because of which ones you can catch at the time.
Yeah, like I want a complete customizable, the ability to completely customize a Pokemon to the point where there's no reason to hack because you can do it pretty quickly.
Yes.
So it's like you breed a Pokemon or whatever, and then you take it to wherever in the last town. And I can get some rare candies and bottle caps to edit its IVs, and then you do the hyper training and maybe something a bit quicker because a lot of people want things to be quick, and I agree.
Yes. Hyper
Hyper training is good, but you want it to be a bit quicker. And I remember they made it a bit quicker, and you got better punching bags and stuff, and it didn't take too long to max out.
I actually did like super training. That actually got really fun. And depending on the Pokemon, it could actually be very challenging. So
yeah, and like a hidden ability, something to change the hidden abilities. I think they have an item in the game, but it's like a lot of battle points.
It's only the natural abilities. It doesn't let you change to the hidden ability or anything.
Yeah, like something like you give heart scales to a tutor, and then like maybe if you give an extra heart scale, he'll give you a hidden ability. Just something where it's easier to get a hold of highly competitive Pokemon because you'll be able to eliminate the need to hack, and you won't ruin the game because that's end game, like post game material,
right?
And that would keep the game going. Like it would have great post game because you'll have the ability to max out like any Pokemon. You're like, now I want to max out this Pokemon. Like you'll really be able to have fun with maxing out a competitive team.
And you could use your own party team too.
Exactly.
That's the thing, yeah.
And because I know from experience that in the past few gens, like when I beat the game, I'm like, all right, there's nothing to do. I'm not going to really play competitively because I don't want to breed and stuff for months to get one Pokemon that might not work. So I'm just like, I'm done after I beat the story, which is sad. I would want to be able to keep playing, make it easy to play competitively.
I just thought of the Virgin Chad meme.
I think so.
It's like the virgin hacker who doesn't want to breed, and the Chad OG player who breeds on his spot. Oh Lord.
I breed my mons. So I'm proud of that fact. I've stuck with it. So I did hack some in Gen 5, but I was like, it just wasn't fun. I was just like, man, I'm getting all these OP legendaries. It just, I've never hacked for legendaries. I mean, not hacked for shinies. Sorry.
Yeah, for shinies.
I did hack for Master Balls. I'm trying to redeem myself by getting all the shinies I caught in those hacked Master Balls legitimately. So I'm trying to do that and redeem myself. I already did that for Groudon, so just need to do the Regis, Linoon, and Lugia. So
I've hacked in the past to get legal competitive mons, and I'm like, I would never go through the process of training for all this because I don't want to waste months and months. And some of the ones that I got, I was like, this one's not really working out on my team.
You end up spending more time grinding the game than actually enjoying and playing the game.
Exactly.
And that's the main issue with it.
Yeah. And I can attest to that as someone who breeds a lot of Pokemon, shiny or not. It's just, it does take a lot of time, and sometimes it does help make that attachment more personal, that it's like, hey, I've really worked hard for this shiny, I worked hard to raise this Pokemon from the ground up. I mean, when I raised my Stoutland Shaggy from an egg and a Lillipup, it made me bond. I know it's a pixel monster on a screen, but it just made me bond with him so much more, and I was just like, dude, I love this. I love being able to raise a Pokemon from an egg and take it into battle and, see it fell its opponents and stuff, and that's what Pokemon should be. It shouldn't be the grind, it shouldn't be the time consumption. It should be you and your Pokemon going on a journey together and conquering the region that you're in. And so
there you go.
And I think it should be a happy medium between the fan demands and the demands of the creator, because I don't think that fan bases should ever determine exactly how a game works, because if that was the case, we wouldn't have Piranha Plant, we wouldn't have a lot of these characters in Overwatch. There are so many things that we would have missed out on if the companies Blizzard, Nintendo, Sakurai, whoever, didn't have their hands in the mix, because whoever would have thought of Piranha Plant in Smash Bros, and that is beautiful.
Plant Gang.
Plant Gang, yes, absolutely, we're all members of the Plant Gang here, but It's just, I don't ever want the fan base to be so entitled that we only want what we want and we don't care what the company wants, because when that happens, then the fans are in control, and that should never be the case. The fans should help guide and lead, because the fans are what keep a series alive, but it's those times where you get your Breath of the Wilds, your Super Mario Odysseys, your Smash Ultimates, and all these other great games that mix up the formula of the traditional. I mean, whoever would have thought of a giant T-Rex being controlled by Mario in a Mario game that's canon? I mean, whoever would have thought of that? And yet it's one of the best things ever on the Switch. And just, I think that there does need to be that even keel between fan demands and requirements of the creator. So I don't ever think...
They can even make Pokemon customization seem like it makes sense in the context of the world, because you can put your Pokemon in a PC box. So why not have like what I said with Digimon, like a USB to change its nature or something. Like that would make sense.
Yeah. I don't think they'll ever go to the point of like customizable shinies, as rad as that would be.
No, but they should have the ability to turn a shiny on and off.
I feel like that kind of ruins the novelty.
That might be a
it.
Rarer item, you know.
I don't know how I feel about that. As someone who shiny hunts pretty regularly, it kind of would ruin the hype of shinies.
Yeah,
honestly,
I guess
to me, I feel like because they've already have the odds Gen 6 and onwards, so I feel like anything past that is like, oh, it's just a shiny. Plus, hackers have done nothing to help that, because everybody
but if you get a
makes
shiny,
so.
It's like you spend so much time to get a shiny, and you could have crappy stats. So
true. Which if they do like we're talking about the customization, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that being a shiny should ever be customizable. I was like, well, I got a Charizard. Oh wait, it's a shiny. I mean, here's stat customization and stuff. Yeah, I'm down with that. But making a Pokemon shiny when it's not, no, I'm not for that.
Here's an idea. Here's like a good comparison to it. With like a good comparison, I guess, and it's gonna be weird at first, but kind of Fortnite, where you can access, the weapons you find, and you get the ammo for it and everything. That's not a problem. But now the skins for your character, and now skins for your guns, that's extra. That's stuff that you don't find. You have to, grind up currency or whatever and stuff to find. And so, because shinies is like cosmetics, you have to grind to try and find them. That's not something that's based for competitive. That's something that's entirely up to you to do.
That's
something
post-game
for your
content.
Enjoyment, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Cosmetics would be neat to put on competitive mods.
Oh yeah,
that would be cool.
like ribbons and stuff. Yeah.
Like a cooler belt from a champ and stuff like just like little things.
Yeah.
You know?
Like actual cosmetic changes.
But
stuff,
what I think would be awesome to really sync with the competitive play and the fans and really make it is like a few things. Like when it comes to breeding, maybe some option to choose the gender, and then once they're born, you can have somebody teach them breed moves or just like any move. But if it's a breed move, it might cost a bit more. Some like bottle caps and rare candies or something like that. Something to make the EVs and IVs better. Basically, you want to be able to customize the Pokemon to the extent of making them how you would want, competitively. And so that kind of eliminates the need for hacking, because it's like, oh, I can do this in like 10 minutes.
The easier it is, the more fun it is for players to get into, basically.
Because then you can get the hard work out of the way and go into the battle. And it's like, hey, cool, I can use this Pokemon now. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That would, honestly, I think that would improve the game tremendously. And it would give a lot more longevity, because you'd be fooling around with different team setups, and you won't have to worry about, like, oh, I got like a weaker version of this Pokemon than this person. Like, no, everyone will be on an even playing field.
And that just becomes, how you EV train it so it runs faster than another Pokemon of the same exact species and stuff, because then that goes into competitive too, because it's the same Pokemon, but the stat spread's different, the nature is different, so the stats would be different and stuff. So then it becomes a point of how do you train this Pokemon to counter
it's up to you,
species?
ultimately.
Yeah, exactly, and it becomes your own strategy instead of what everybody else is doing. So
yeah, but the thing with bottle caps is I think it only raised an IV stat, but you want complete customization, because I know some people, including myself, like for Aegislash, for example, you want his speed stat to be as low as it can, so that you can keep using the shield move, and like you'll always go second. So like you want to completely be able to customize stats within the game, and I think that would be amazing. That would really prevent the need for hacking. And I say need because it really is a need if you want to play competitively. Like, imagine a tournament coming up in like imagine a tournament coming up in 3 months, and you have the team in mind you want. It's like, well, I guess I'm never gonna be able to play because I can't. This is gonna take me years. It's like, imagine being able to do it in like a day.
Yeah.
So
it do be like that sometimes.
So I don't understand why 7 gens later we still can't customize our Pokemon.
I'm hoping they learn. I really do. That's as fans is all we can hope for. Yeah, I know and as a fan who loves the series, it does suck to see it, fall so far from grace, because it used to be so great, and now the competitive scene is pretty much dying because everybody's playing illegitimately. It falls by the wayside very quickly, and just Game Freak has not been engaged with their fan base ever since they tried to make a fun children's game a competitive game, and they just have not been able to keep up with the demand of the fans, and so the fans have gone to illegitimate measures, and that has only escalated things quicker. Not
so
just on YouTube, but also in the gameplay. So
it's so easy to make that change. Just put those in the game.
Exactly, yeah.
The fan base you'll like unite everyone again.
Well, we say it's easy, but there's probably a lot of programming to do with that.
Well, easy in terms of like,
I mean, I'm sure the data's already there because you can breed a Pokemon with certain IVs.
I remember back in the day,
so
you can edit that stuff using Game Shark or Action Replay. So it's like, just make it a part of the game. Like, I want to be able to change my Pokemon's nature. I want to be able to change their hidden abilities, or their abilities. I want to be able to give them bred moves. I want to give them higher or lower EVs and IVs in certain areas, and there you go. Then you got your competitive mom.
Yep.
So it's like such a simple thing.
Yeah.
Like, just put that, and it doesn't affect the game because it's post game.
Right. The core experience is still the same.
I guess they're afraid that people are going to have like overpowered Pokemon, but everybody will be on the same playing field because there already are overpowered Pokemon in the hands of hackers.
It's worse now.
Make their hacked Pokemon like almost worthless. So like,
right. Right now it's worse because hackers can have hidden powers and everything perfectly, but you to get that would have to spend months to get just one, and they can get 1 million in a day.
Yeah. You would eliminate the need to really use hacking and Pokemon Showdown. Honestly, if you just did that.
Pokemon Showdown would still, I think, be necessary if you want to test stuff. If you want to test stuff.
But if you make things easier to obtain highly competitive in the game, then you can kind of test things on your own. But yeah, I also think if they were able to implement Pokemon Showdown in their game, like I was saying, you maybe you can go to like a computer. Yeah, like you go to a computer in like an arcade or something in a town, and they have like an 8-bit Pokemon game in there where you can customize everything, and you can save your data there, so every time you go back to that town, it's like you can play a Pokemon Showdown, kind of.
Right. It's not like the full game. You don't get all the glorious animation or anything like that.
Right. They're just 8-bit, and I would love to see like an 8-bit sprite of every Pokemon up to now. Like, it would kind of serve that too. Like having...
Cool. Like maybe just the box sprites, the sprites in the boxes? I mean, that's kind of, it's not 8-bit, but it's kind of like...
Oh, yeah, true. I mean, that
kind of satisfies that.
Yeah. So they don't have to do extra work. They already have it there. Actually, they could kind of take that and enlarge it to make it look like less resolution. But yeah. Actually, Digimon has something where there's a stat called Dot, where it turns a Digimon into like a pixelized version. So I think every Digimon has like an 8-bit Tamagotchi-esque version of it.
Huh.
It's like, I forget what DOP does, but I think it's a status that like prevents you from using any moves. You can just you can only attack. Because the way Digimon works is, the 4 Pokemon moves you have, Digimon has like moves like that, but then you can just regular attack or defend. So it's like it prevents you from using any of your special moves. Also, what they do is pretty neat. When you learn a move in Digimon, you keep it in a list of moves, so you can always change up your move set. So like you can have a list of maybe like 15 moves, but when you go and select a Digimon, you can choose which 4 you want it to know, and like it won't forget the other ones. But eventually, you have to make it forget some because you can only have so many moves. So Digimon actually has a leg up on Pokemon in terms of making things easier to be competitive. Like it's a lot
sounds like
more customizable. You could stick Digimon in the farm and they could train, and they even put in Digimon that make it so much easier to level up. And I forget the exact strategy, but they're like if you get like 3 Digimon and like all the Digimon on your team, because you can have I think up to like 9, but 3 stay out on the field. And every Digimon gets experience, even if they were in play or not. So there's like there's like one Digimon that if you get 3 of them and put them on the field, and you give them these hold items, basically after any battle, like every Digimon gains so much experience to the point where you can level them up to like 99 in like a few battles. And it's like they really made it easy to play competitively in that game. And that's something I wish Pokemon would learn from. That I don't think they ever will.
Ironically, it's like you remember the meme where Mega Evolution just came out and it was like Pokemon exists, Digimon copies Pokemon, Pokemon gets Mega Evolution, Pokemon copies Digimon, so Pokemon is copying itself.
Actually, I've heard this, and then I've heard this wasn't true, and I heard it was true, but I think Digimon came out before Pokemon.
It did, yeah.
Oh, it did? Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people.
No, Pokemon came out in '96, but the Tamagotchi-esque Digimon handheld games came out in '97. It's either '97 or late '96. I think it was '97. So Pokemon came out first in Japan, and then the Digimon games came out. So it's less than a year old.
If anything, they're different enough, and honestly, it's one of those. If assuming it's a copy, it's one of those Pokemon copies that kept going and did it right.
Oh yeah,
that's like you can argue that like Sonic copied Mario in a sense where like Sega was trying to create a mascot to rival Mario, and they did it. But Sonic is different enough to stand on its own.
Yeah.
And I feel like Digimon is different enough to stand on its own from Pokemon, but being something like you can say Mario and Sonic being like platformers. Pokemon and Digimon being like an RPG with monsters. I wish they would like take ideas from each other in order, like almost like lessons. Like, oh yeah, Digimon is doing
make
that.
It
like that's good.
Yeah,
but I mean that in the sense of like, oh, they make it easy to get competitive Digimon. Like we should make it easy because obviously it doesn't affect the meta of Digimon. Like I don't think there's any tournaments or anything. But, I mean, that's something that Pokemon has to worry about because they have tournaments.
Yes.
Yeah.
And continual loss of interest in them.
Mm-hmm. Like, I used to be kind of interested, and then I fell off because I was like, yeah, I'm never going to get... Like, I want to try different teams, and I don't feel like going through the trouble of it, so I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So it's like they dug their hole with that. Like, let us be able to customize them, and that would be so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But you said we got to wrap it up at 8:30. We got 3 minutes.
Yeah, just trying to keep it kind of short. But yeah, I think that's it. Unless you guys have any more thoughts on Pokemon or any other stuff that's gone down this week, because that was really what I thought of was Pokemon, and didn't know it turned to a discourse about the metagame and stuff. But I felt it was a good discussion. So
yeah, me too.
That's kind of just what I wanted to talk about because it's something that I would say I'm mostly passionate about Pokemon.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. It's one of my favorite series. I would say it's probably my favorite series. Period. That right up there with Disney. And it's just because I love the characters, I love the Pokemon, I love the human characters, I love the gameplay, and the game looks great. And I'm glad that we have random encounters back. I'm glad that we've got the standard battle style back. It's just, will they implement things that help streamline it? So I'm already relieved that, we don't have the Let's Go style, that we're actually battling stuff. But it's just,
I do like Let's Go as its own thing, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good spin-off-ish game. So
maybe they keep making a spin-off version every generation. They make a spin-off Let's Go game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
maybe it becomes its own series.
Yep. So hey, maybe we're hopefully getting a next mystery dungeon on the Switch. That would be cool. So that would be great.
Attention to Gen 2, possibly.
And Let's Go Mining.
Huh?
I said Let's Go Plusle and Let's Go Mining.
Yes.
That works.
Yeah. They have costumes of each other as alternate costumes.
That's confusing.
Yep.
It's like they make useless Pokemon playable, which is like, oh, neat. For one game. Would you choose Plusle or would you choose Mining?
I like Plusle more.
Wait, is Plusle the blue or red one?
The red one.
Mm.
The blue pill or the red pill? Purple pill.
Do you have any... Before we go, do you guys have any hopes for Gen 8, aside from the meta that we're talking about? Any, dual types or anything you'd like to see? Just anything in general you'd like to see implemented in this game?
I'm hoping Score Bunny, and I'm going to do fan art of it. I've got an idea in my head, but I hope its final evolution is not firefighting. As much as I do love that typing, I do love Infernape, Emboar, and Blaziken, but I want something different, and I want Fire Electric. That would be so cool. And I have an idea in my head. I just need to put it on paper. It's just...
I want a Fire Ice Pokemon. So
yes,
I was just about to say that.
That would be cool. That would be cool. And this is a good region to do it too. So,
Electric Dark. Can we have an Electric Dark, and can we make it Luxray? Can we just, not even a new Pokemon, just make Luxray Electric Dark? Give it a purpose.
Well, actually, I would like to see more regional variants.
Yeah. I just don't
in
want
which case you can give a regional variant of Luxray Dark Electric.
Yep. Which kind of like Muck would make that old form completely obsolete, sadly. But I hate that for Muck. Alolan Muck's so much better than regular Muck now. So
what's its type again?
Poison Dark.
Oh,
so it's got the psychic immunity and the type coverage.
Ooh.
And so yeah, it's got a few moves that Muck does not. So like Stone Edge, I think. So
then they should they can take lessons from that and make a Mega Muck that Alolan Muck can't turn into. And it's then you can choose which one you want.
True.
They should make useless Pokemon more not useless, but they should make certain Pokemon more useful.
And they've sort of done that over the years. Of course, Gen 6 and 7 both added stat buffs. Stoutland got 10 to his attack, and that's awesome. And there's Masquerain and Mantine got the greatest treatment ever. Mantine got...
Bro, Masquerain didn't exist until this generation.
Yeah.
No one knew about it.
Yeah. And then it got plus 20 to its speed and special attack. It's oh, wow.
Right. And it's PU still, which means it's at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the tier list, but still, it has something it can do, and it does it good.
Yeah.
What's the P stand for in PU?
Poorly.
Nothing.
Poorly?
It's a meme.
Oh, because I thought it was NU, because I thought NU was the lowest, never used.
It was, and then PU last generation got officially adopted into their tier list. Now there's one below it called ZU, which everyone just says zero used. Because literally no one uses them.
Poor Dugong. So
that's where that's where Dugong goes.
Yeah.
NU, more like PU.
That's kind of the joke of it, yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's it for this week. So obviously we're very passionate about this game, looking forward to it, and just a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, not just for the Switch, but also hopefully for the podcast. Big thanks to Ethan for joining us this week, and definitely big thanks to Drew for letting me take the helm for this episode and try my reins out on this. This was fun. I like this.
Last thing I want to say, is it Galar? Is that the region?
Galar.
Galar?
Like Valor.
It ends with an R, right? Because I've heard people say it without the R, and I'm wondering if maybe that's the Japanese version, and people have been mixing them up.
It's Galar, Galar, yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay. So does that mean if we had any variants from that region, they'd be Gallon or Galarin? Probably Galarin.
Or Galarinian.
Galarinian.
Galarian or something.
I want to see more Raichus because I love Raichu.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Galarin Raichu.
I thought they would do
Steel
that.
Gallon
electric.
form. Gallon
Steel
of milk.
electric, and it's wearing armor.
Yes.
But and instead of it evolved from malasadas, it evolved from whatever the new food is.
Yep.
Some UK treat.
Yep.
Tea.
Tea and crumpets. Yeah.
This
Hi! You want
This
to challenge me
Raichu-
to a bloody Pokemon fight?
this Raichu evolved thanks to tea crumpets.
There's got to be a tea and crumpets thing in this game somewhere. If it's
There's
based off
gonna be a
England.
teacup Pokemon. It's
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Teacup
And we're all
turns
gonna
into
hate
a-
it, but
And it
then
turns
it's gonna
into a
be good.
teapot.
Yes. Yeah.
It's basically Chip and
Mrs. Potts.
Miss Potts.
Yep.
I'm disappointed because I already know it exists.
I'm holding out hope for a Loch Ness monster Pokemon for real.
Yes,
So that would be
please.
cool.
Actually, that was one of the legendaries somebody wanted. They were like, "Oh, I hope we get a legendary that's like the Loch Ness monster."
Mm-hmm.
Unless Sobble's final evolution resembles
Yeah, I've
Loch Ness
heard
monster.
that. Yeah. I saw Noggin.
I saw artwork. Of
Yeah,
that.
that would
Noggin
make
did a
sense
video
because
about it.
that would make sense because it disappears
Yep.
because it's hard
Yep.
to find.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
it doesn't exist.
Yeah, Loxton
Bum,
made a whole
bum,
video
bum.
about it. So yeah.
Who?
Loxton / Noggin, the guy that does
Oh,
all the
yeah.
Pokemon theories and stuff. So yeah, he did.
Let's try
He
getting him
actually
on
did a
here.
good speculation video about that, and how it could be based on like drama and theater and all that, and how he was saying. I mean, I'll let him. You just go watch that video. I don't want to take him.
What is what's the name meaning of Sobble?
Sob bubble? I guess.
Mhm.
I guess.
I'm thinking the bull is from Bubble,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look
Must
like
be.
it cries. It doesn't look like it sobs.
Yeah, just it's
Unless it's
that was
like-
one thing that he talked about was that the Japanese name and some of the other names are that regards to acting. No. I'm thinking of Grookey. That was rhythm based. So the people
'Cause
are
I'm-
thinking that it might be a drum based monkey
Because I'm
thing.
thinking it could be sop, like sop something up with a towel, so,
True.
and then it goes into bubble, like sop bubble.
Perhaps.
Then
So
it
it's a
might make more sense
janitor chameleon. So
Yeah, janitor chameleon. I'll go
'Cause
get
it
Sobble
cleans
to clean
games.
up me spill.
I'm cleaning up the tea and crumpets, love.
I spilled me tea and crumpets. Got the Sobble to clean it up.
God save the queen.
Gosh. Okay, that's
That should be a final move, like for the legendary.
Yes.
God
That's the
save
name
the
of a
queen.
Z move.
Yeah.
The champion of the region is Queen Elizabeth.
He pulls out his teacup, and as soon as he holds his pinky finger up, a shockwave flies out and it KOs the opponent instantly. So-
You know if they would
Fancy.
change the name for whatever legal purposes, so it'd be like Queen Eliza, like
Yeah.
Champion Eliza,
Probably.
or Queen Beth, or something like
Yep. That'd be cool. That'd be a cool workaround. So they have to incorporate some kind of England royalty into it. So
Oh yeah,
that.
definitely.
Yeah.
that would be cool if they had like Will and Kate and what's her name? Megan and Harry and all these other
They're your rivals.
Ooh,
yeah,
I
or
just
like
thought
they're
of
the
an
Elite
idea.
Four. So
I just thought of an idea. The two legendaries will be based on a king and a queen, and then the third potential one would be like the Jack.
Oh,
Yeah.
chess theme.
that would be cool.
We already have
Not
Bisharp.
chess, it's cards.
Oh, well,
But I mean, you can
Wait a
do
minute.
something like that.
isn't the knight also called a jack in chess?
Oh, I don't know.
mhm.
Honestly, if so,
Oh, wait.
then you're right.
I thought it was.
Then we can have
Anyway,
like Joker,
chess theme
Pokemon.
would be cool too,
Yeah.
because we already have Poniard and Bisharp.
Mhm.
So we got
yeah.
Rook. And then we get the king and the queen, and then we
Would
get
Bishop get a
That's it.
third evolution?
possibly. I
Possibly.
Blah, blah,
Omega.
blah.
think it's already pretty good, but maybe.
Yeah.
Something like a knight. A knight, like, was it Pawnyard, Bisharp, and Knight Slayer?
Nice.
I don't
That
know.
comes out of 13-year-old's edgy Pokemon sketchbook.
Night Slayer, use Slay.
Jack from my 3rd grade class is gonna get a taste of my Night Slayer.
My ability, Bloodthirst, activates.
Gosh.
You've activated my trap card.
I activate Vampire Sucker. That's actually a name.
My Pokemon's hidden ability makes it so it can't take any damage.
Sceptile Ninja then. Okay.
It specifically kills Jack from my 3rd grade class. That's its ability. I hate him.
What a way to end it. Oh my gosh.
This is just the beginning.
Oh, it's just the beginning, even though it's the ending.
Yeah.
But as always, guys, you can find our stuff down in the description. We will add Ethan's info, his Twitter, and his YouTube. Is there anything else you want to add, Ethan, in the description?
Add since I started the video off talking about it, add my EV Productions page too.
Okay. You just have to send me the link for that. So.
Why don't you look it up and subscribe, man?
Oh yeah. Let's see.
Support my business.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
All
on
right. We'll
YouTube
link
and
that
Facebook.
too. Okay.
Noise.
All right.
You can send me the links with the video because I'll put it up on YouTube tonight.
Okay. Well, yeah. All right. Well, that's going to be it for this week, guys. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And now we got to go. So until next week, see you later.
Peace
Bye,
out.
guys.
Bye. Instead of it evolved from malasadas, it evolved from whatever the new food is.
Yep.
Some UK treat.
Yep. Tea and crumpets. Yeah.
This
Boy, you want to challenge me to a bloody Pokemon fight?
this Raichu evolved thanks to tea crumpets. Crumpet Raichu.